Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. Happy Friday to you. Tina, how are you doing today?
Thank God it's Friday. That's all I gotta say is thank God it's Friday. I feel like this week has
We
gone.
are.
Look at my little cute hat.
You are super cute. You are super cute. I love you, little. You are definitely a royalty, our little queen bee for sure.
Queen bee. So
It has been.
Michelle Cunningham sent
It's
me
been a long week.
this whole week. Yeah, she sent me a little goodie bag in the mail, and this little crown was in it. So thank you, Michelle Cunningham. But yeah, so this week was like, I feel like this has been like forever. Like
it has been a long week. There was a lot of events. Of course, we had the Connect Summit on Tuesday, which is, we start out so strong.
We do. You can see our energy going whoosh, and then we going.
Well, and then Wednesday, I had a full day. I got to do an event. I got to be a guest on with James Dentley on his podcast. And then that night, I still am a member of a board that meets in Denver, Colorado from like
at 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah, at night in Mountain Time.
But their time.
Yeah.
So it's 9 o'clock your time.
At 10 o'clock, I was like, do you think we could wrap it up? Because I'm kind of done. And we still had so much to do. So we actually scheduled a second meeting, an extra meeting, because there's still a lot we have got to cover before the end of the year. So late night on Wednesday. Yesterday, I was on the Global Elevation Summit all day. And I seriously, I woke up this morning. It was 8:45 a.m. It was like, oh my gosh, I could keep sleeping. I could absolutely keep sleeping. I am so dragging today.
So you're going to enjoy this weekend, and you don't have nothing going on this weekend, right?
I don't. No work stuff. I'm hoping to maybe put my toes in the sand again. And I've got a friend, you know what? I've got so many people coming to Florida. It is so fun.
I need to make a trip to Florida.
Yeah. So Sharon, do you remember Sharon North Pole? She spoke on our first Connect Summit.
Oh, yeah.
She's here in Florida. She's looking for a home. I don't know if that's public knowledge.
Is everyone moving to Florida?
Yeah. And in Sarasota. And then my friend Molly in Brighton is going to be moving to Sarasota in the spring. I already have some friends who live in Sarasota. Then Wendy Labatt's going to be here. I'm having lunch with her in Orlando on Monday. Yeah, and somebody else, Lori Dixon, is coming to Florida. Like, it is
You're going to have the whole crew.
It is the whole crew.
Tina Torres.
Yes. Where mine is, we just need Tina.
Yeah, right. And then next week is Thanksgiving. And listen, we decided, and I know you guys are going to get so upset, but we decided to take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off of the Angel and Tina Morning Show next week. So we are going to be live Monday and Tuesday. I know, she's like, what? But we will put some replays out there. But we have been working, and Angel needs to spend some time with her girls. Her girls. We don't call them children anymore. And so we were like, okay, you're going to get a 5-day vacay. And she was like, oh, what? I literally told her, okay, Tuesday after the Angel and Tina Morning Show, do not schedule anything, because then you can take the rest of Tuesday until Monday morning off.
And I've told everybody that I'm taking next week off, and they're like, cool, that's great. Maybe I will too. And so it's encouraging other people to take some more time off too. And because the last time I took 3 days off, but that was to drive from Denver.
Those aren't 3 days off. Those were crazy, chaotic. We're going on an adventure in a dark hotel type of adventure.
Driving all day in the car, which actually that part wasn't so bad, but you're still getting up early, and it's not like relaxing.
Yeah. I hope you can put your toes in the sand, and that this weekend can be a little bit more relaxing than last weekend was. I know you got some.
I know we had some weird news last weekend, but
we're not going to talk about that. We're going to worry about the good stuff.
Good
we got to do
shining on me.
our Jesus calling this morning.
I know we didn't, right? Because we had so many other things, but you know, it's having faith, not worrying, knowing that God's got this all figured out. It's his plan, it's his timeline. But here's what it says to you this morning. I am pleased with you, my child, for allowing yourself to become fully aware of my pleasure shining upon you. I'm like, oh,
right?
Like that.
It is so amazing when, let me take these glasses off. It is so amazing when you read those kinds of things and the things that you're going through. And this is an everyday thing. Like last year, the same day, the same time, you read Jesus Calling and it meant something different. This year, you're reading the same thing and it means something different.
It absolutely does. Well, it is our Friday Chef series with Chef Maribel back in her kitchen today. Maribel, how are you doing?
Okay, it was a long week for me too.
It was. What were you? Tell me about your week.
Well, this last night was the last cooking class for my Thanksgiving cooking course, and these ladies that are doing the course, it could be a gentleman or whatever, but it just so happens to be ladies in this course, are doing Thanksgiving for the first time on their own, where their mother or whoever usually does Thanksgiving is not doing it, mainly because they're somebody in the family is not doing well, and so they want to take it upon themselves to do it. And so last night we really, except for the turkey, we laid out all the sides, kind of went through the whole scenario. You know, it's a lot of information to gather all together on your own.
You have so many questions, but what if this, and what if this, and what if this,
yeah.
what if this?
Yeah. And for somebody,
first one, you want it to be, you want it to be perfect. So, I could only
it's so much, it's so much pressure. But I feel like they're prepared. And the last thing really is the turkey. So I'm a little tired. Anytime I do a class, even online, which I never anticipated, it really does take a lot out of you, because I'm trying to emote, I'm trying to describe, I'm trying to show, I'm trying to be completely energized for them. So that in the morning, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I worked a whole shift at a restaurant.
It really does. Our first couple of weeks on the morning show, I was telling Angel, I'm like, I have no energy and I haven't left the house. But I think it's because you have to put so much energy into being on Zoom and so much energy into making sure your positive energy gets pushed into the screen. And you get off and you're like,
yeah.
Well, we so appreciate you coming on the last 3 weeks. Today is your last day for the Thanksgiving dinner, but I am so excited that you accepted to do our December cooking segment for Christmas. So the whole month of December, every Friday, she's going to come back and show you guys how to make Christmas dinner. So I feel like even today, we're like even more of an official morning show, because we even have our little, let me put it as a spotlight. We even have our above the counter cooking. Oh, we need to turn it this way.
All right, no problem. I got you.
No, the other way.
The other way? Okay. There we go.
There you go.
Oh wait, now you're gonna see all my stuff. Okay, give me a second. Take the spotlight off. Take the spotlight off.
Take the spotlight off. Take the spotlight off. We'll go to commercial.
I can't do it now.
You can't. Hold on a second.
What am I doing wrong?
Hold on a second. I'm gonna leave it there, and then we'll get back. Anyways, so we're talking desserts, right? We're talking desserts. We're talking everyone, especially those, including myself. Desserts is not, as a chef, usually most chefs have a pastry chef or they have somebody who does desserts. But when you're in a small restaurant, privately owned, not a big corporate thing. You don't have a pastry chef, so you have to become the pastry chef. So I grew up, you know, as a teenager baking cookies and biscuits and shortbreads and all that stuff. But pies is something else. That's not something I grew up doing with my mom. So that is definitely the next level for me.
Yeah.
So
Whoever said easy as pie was lying.
I know it's easy as pie to eat. You know? But it's not that hard. I mean, it's not that easy. Yet the ingredients are simple: butter, flour, sugar, and chilled water, and that is it. But there are definitely, just like bread, there's not many ingredients in there either. And there's definitely some technique and some steps to follow. So I'm going to try to go over the basics. And I have finished products, and we have 2 pie options for people to do.
Today is another one of those days, Angel, that, you know, we could have really used the little hand that comes out. And you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think I got everything set up in my kitchen. So
because you're making an apple something today, right?
Right. So I had several desserts. So what I have today is, I don't know, which camera do you want to do?
Oh, hold on. Let me get to the spot.
Well, no. Okay.
There. Oh.
So this is a cranberry apple pecan crust with a crumble on top. It doesn't look pretty from the top.
Oh.
But it is so good. And this is not my recipe. The crust is my recipe, but the filling is definitely a video that I'm doing for all recipes. And I really actually like this dessert a lot. It was definitely worth the doing and finding out for me. And the next one is this is like a pumpkin tart, but I'm gonna just put it here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put it here. Yeah.
Okay. Let me put spotlight and put this as spotlight. Okay.
This is my pumpkin tart that we did in the class, and I did a pecan praline on top because the crust is pecan as well. And it's not too strong, but for me, I never really liked pecan pie or pumpkin pie because it's so sweet, and I think people just make it really sweet. So of course, when you make it yourself, you can do it your way, you know, and this is my way.
You know, I was the same way. I never liked pumpkin pie. And the other day my roommate got one and she's like, just try it. I'm like, I don't like it, but I do like pumpkin spice latte, and I like scones.
Yeah.
But so I tried it and I was like, did pumpkin pie change? Because now I like it. But it was, you know, your taste buds change. So
right. Well, that too. So I think the pecans and the crust, I'm all about pecans because we've had an explosion of pecans this year. They're just coming all over the place. And I have one in my backyard. So I'm like, I'm gonna get these free pecans because usually they're really expensive. So I think it balances out the sweetness in the pumpkin filling. Also, you don't have to do pumpkin filling. People do sweet potato filling, and I did butternut squash filling with my class as well because somebody didn't like pumpkin as well, but they should have tried this.
Pie?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even heard of that.
I know.
Oh.
So
that
I did
that right there. That looks really, really good.
It's good, and we've been enjoying it for breakfast.
She's
so
like it is good.
And this one I like too. Again, the tartness of the cranberries is really nice with the apple. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to put it together. I'm going to show you what makes.
This definitely looks so much better.
Yeah. So this is really good too. And again, I enjoy the crust because not only because I made it, but because it has pecans in it. So it just adds a little bit of extra. So without further ado, let's put a little pie together, like a little yeah, a little crust together. So so the other thing that I wanted to share was, okay, you have your little pie, but I think it's also extra and plus if you do some mini pies. So I like to do little tarts extra, and even as small as this, like
That's like
these little tarts. Yeah, yeah, because if you get some people don't like a lot of sweets, and this is perfect for a bite-sized little something. And if
and
you
then
feel
that way
guilty,
you get one of everything.
that's true. That's the idea. So
Do they cook in like 5 minutes because they're so little?
yeah. So we're going to cook one today since we have some time. But before anything, I like to just kind of butter my mold. And so here's my mold for this tart.
Maribel, I want you to open up your own cooking store. Because you make me want to go like buy cooking stuff.
Like I want those little tart dishes.
Like the little tarts, like these little dishes. Last week you had the ricer and that fillet spatula.
Yeah.
We both need one of those.
Right?
Well,
your charcuterie board. I think you need your own cooking store.
Yeah.
I do. I have thought of that because I do
you
like
totally make me want to go shopping.
And I need to send those pitches to these people so to sponsor me more than anything. Right? So anyways, I don't have a lot of supplies, but I do have a few. And
that little thing that you just buttered, it sounds like it's a metal thing. Is that metal?
Yeah, it's metal. It's a little metal.
I thought it was one of those little tin ones.
No, this is
those two.
You do. You do. You do. I have a few. I don't have all the baking things, but I do have a few. Speaking of tools, you do need one of these. This is it's called a pastry cutter, and so it's to cut the butter into the flour, which I'll show you in a second.
I do have one of those, and I like it.
Well, yeah, because you did desserts, right? So this is a bench scraper, and this is great to kind of like get the flour out of the way. But I also use this when I'm cooking, and I kind of like scoop all my ingredients and put it on too. So my thing about tools is if it has multi-purpose, then it's a keeper, and then it's worth buying. But if it's just a one function situation, I don't have enough room in my kitchen. I don't use it. If I can use my knife or, whatever is multi-use, then then I don't need to buy it. So those
That's
are the
right. We gotta do a tour of Mirabel's kitchen one day too.
Maybe we could do that in December.
So yeah, so definitely. So I have my dough, and we're gonna start from something that I already did before. The thing about dough is that it's best, even like empanadas or something like that, it's best to do it like one night before. And so that's why pies are like kind of a pain in the ass. Sorry, again. Sorry. They're pain.
On the Angel and Tina morning show, the producer needs to have her little beep.
Sorry.
But just on Friday. But yes, I totally agree with the pies, because I love making empanadas. And I'm like, oh, but you always want to make it the day before because they fry so much easier when they're cold.
Right.
And it's all stuck together.
So most importantly, the dough needs to relax. So, I mean, that's going to be that's the main thing. The flour needs to relax, and it won't be as tough. All these things that are basically techniques that they don't tell you in the recipe. And so you just have to learn it from people. So I'm just going to roll this out and get a little bit more flour. And I want to roll this out because I want to put this, you basically have to par bake this first. And that just means partially cooked in the oven. So I want to get this in, and then I will put a little flour mixture together. But while I do this, you guys can chat away.
All righty. That looks so good. I'm just like, oh my gosh, we should have made it already.
Yeah.
So we needed to be doing, Tina, so we had Sarah Zalecki on here the other day, helping us with like carb blockers and losing weight and all of that, because
Really?
I am so ready for dessert season. This is, I do, like, sugar's my thing. I know it. I did do, I had a health scare a few years ago, and I absolutely I removed everything, sugar and flour and sweet and everything out of my life. I didn't have a white chocolate mocha for 6 months. I didn't have a glass of wine for 6 months.
Okay, so
I didn't have
mocha, I could
and
probably
they
see
tell
you
you
not drinking, but your wine, I could only imagine what you were like in 6 months.
No alcohol, no sugar, like nothing. And I'll tell you, right? It does, like, you want to get your body into a healing, recovering state, like stop putting crap inside of it, right? And it will, like, it knows what to do, but we keep, sabotaging it. So they tell you though that you will lose the sugar cravings. Like, I would read all these articles and all this stuff about how I don't have those sugar cravings once you don't have it. Tina, I would be walking around, I smell sugar. Like, I could just smell it in the air. And I would go in.
We're gonna have to ask Jay, how was she during that 6 months?
And no fun. Angel was no fun.
No wine, no coffee, no sugar, no sweets. Oh, Angel.
That's when I started drinking that bullet coffee, where you put
the butter and the oil,
the butter in your coffee, right? And
just told me that, I was like, what?
Yeah. It makes your lips really slick.
Did you do intermittent fasting?
I was doing the whole sheet. I had because I had some tumors on my thyroid, and they wanted to remove my thyroid, and I was in radio, and I had met a gentleman who had his thyroid removed, and it caused like a tickle in his throat, and so he always felt like and so his voice was really strained, and I thought, I can't afford to lose my voice. Like, this is my moneymaker right here, right? And so I'm like, I've got to do everything else that I can to get myself healthy. And I'll tell you what, the discipline, when you've got a knife at your throat, like, you're like, just wasn't even a thing. I'm like, I'm not eating sugar, I'm not drinking alcohol, I'm not having flour, like all of this stuff. I'm like, I'm just not, because you're
allergic to eggs and stuff too, aren't you?
I am allergic to eggs.
You couldn't eat nothing. Like, what did you eat?
Chicken and broccoli.
And broccoli.
Oh yeah, I could have. Yeah, it was really particular what I could have, like, in my smoothies. But I was working with a naturopath, and we have all these little drops and tinctures or whatever. Like, we were putting in my. I mean, they were brown. My smoothies tasted like dirt. Like, it was. It was no fun. So now we're back into dessert season, and I am just
thank goodness, because I have my little chocolate, my little spoonful of chocolate that I've been taking every morning from Sarah, and I'm just like,
she lost 5 pounds, people. She lost 5 pounds.
I have. I was like, what? I looked at the scale and I went,
hello, is this right? Is this working? Well, good, because you're gonna find it next week, I think.
No, don't say that. Take that back.
Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
I don't know if you guys.
I got a little 90s girls out on today. I got my big hoops on, and I got my little jean jacket on. I have a little 90s vibe going on today.
You're so cute. You're so cute. Okay, so Maribel's got some tart pie.
Oh,
crust
she's
things
ready.
for
Okay,
us.
let me spotlight her.
So I did my little tart. I have a big tart too. I have a this size.
We
But
want that size.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so a tart can be any size?
yes, ma'am. It can be this size. It can be this size.
We can
or it
have
can be the
we can have small, medium, or large. Me and Angel
Yeah.
both put the large. One of each.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, whatever makes sense for me. The small one makes sense because it's just myself and somebody else in the house. So, and then, but I also like little things, especially for desserts. It just looks daintier and nice. But when you have a big audience in a group, you want the big one, right? I also have a pie tart, which I did for this one. I just took it out and I put it in my tart large one just for presentation. So I'm going to put this in the oven, and what I did is you saw me butter the mold, and I just rolled out my dough, and I probably should put this in the refrigerator to relax a little bit because it might shrink, and that's the problem I think most people have with pie, is that the crust will shrink a little bit. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator while I get my ingredients together, and I fix this above camera to showcase how to put the ingredients together. Okay. So you don't need a machine, but it would be good to. It's nice, but we can do it by hand. Like most people do their pie in the food processor.
You're gonna put that in the refrigerator for how long? Like 5 minutes?
Yeah, well, if I had a big one, I would definitely leave it in the refrigerator for an hour. These are little. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator for like 5 minutes, just to relax the dough, because I kind of manipulated it a little bit, by rolling it out and working with it. So I'm gonna let it rest, and also the butter helps to be the more chilled and nice it is. It's kind of the better it weaves into the flour when it goes into the oven, so it gets nice and flaky.
Flaky. We want flaky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we want it nice and buttery, not like hard.
Flaky.
Yeah, and flaky.
Tina, did you know that Melanie McSally used to be a pastry chef?
I remember her telling me that. I remember her telling me that years ago.
We've got people with some kitchen skills around us.
Yeah. She understands me. She understands my okay, this is what I have to do. And
and baking is completely different than cooking. I think with cooking,
oh yeah,
if you agree, like cooking, you're like, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna put a little bit of this, I'm gonna sample this, I'll try this. But baking to me seems more like a science. Like
if you say, oh, I don't have baking powder, I'll just use baking soda.
Yeah, you can't replace things as simply. The measurements, quantities absolutely matter. Temperatures absolutely matter. Like the time, absolutely. Like baking to me is more like a science, and cooking is more like the arts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so cooking to me, like I would always start. This is what there was 3 ingredients that you needed to start any dinner at my house, and it was. I would chop up, it was olive oil, onions, and wine. And so put a little olive oil in the pan, chop up some onions and get that in there. And it just it didn't matter like what I did with it. It made the house smell so yummy, and everybody come running.
See, my thing is adding garlic to that those onions. And then you're like,
garlic, little salt. And then I just start like opening the fridge. I'm like, well, what do we have? Like, and what are we gonna make? Well, what do we have on hand?
And I'll add
that's good. At least you're adventurous.
Well, I don't know if it was so much adventurous as I don't know. I think it was like almost like necessity. What else? Like how much of everything that I buy can I actually use? Like a little challenge. Like, let's use it all. And what can I turn this into?
that's the way to think about cooking, and that's what most chefs do in the restaurant. They really like specials are usually okay, what do we have that we can turn into a special that is sounds special, that's not ordinary to a menu, what's
That
on
we
sale at
accidentally bought more of this week.
yeah, or what's on sale with our vendors, what could we use to make that nice, that's in season, stuff like that. So, and then also, what can we make for our employees to eat before a shift meal so that they can, their bellies are full and we can really have a good
I just want
service.
to go
So
over and work for Chef Maribel and be like, I just want to eat so I can just eat.
yeah.
Okay, let me take a quick little commercial break. Is this a good time for me to take a commercial break, Maribel, or do you have something?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, then let's highlight our sponsors of the Angel and Tina Morning Show. We've got Zondra TV Network. We are globally syndicated across all the digital streaming platforms, your favorite digital platforms and networks. Find the Angel and Tina Morning Show on the ZTV network. And if you've ever thought about hosting your own show, you've got a podcast, you've got content, you do a YouTube channel, maybe it's time to take it up to television. Schedule your discovery call by going to beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com. And check out all the lineup of programs that she's got coming out and it has been releasing all year long. Bliss by the Lake Boutique is our clothing sponsor. It's time to dress up that holiday wardrobe. Follow them on social media. They get new inventory in every single week. So, and they ship all over the country. And then Sonic VA. If you feel like you are just too overwhelmed to get it all done, don't. Do what you do best and then hire out for all the rest with your own virtual assistant or a team of VAs designed to take all that extra stuff off of your to-do list so that you can enjoy your holidays and your family time. And then check out their new video service right now. If you are not producing high quality videos on YouTube, you are totally missing out on connecting to a totally different target audience and a new market. Go to sonicva.com, sonicva.com. And when you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, they're going to give you a 10% discount off your first 40 hours of virtual assistant service. That's sonicva.com. Thanks, Zondra TV. Thanks, Bliss by the Lake. And thank you, Sonic VA, for sponsoring us every single morning. All right, we've got Chef Maribel. This is our cooking series we have been doing now all through November, helping you get ready for your special Thanksgiving dinner. If you haven't registered for some of her online courses and programs, she is so fabulous for you to hang out with. So make sure, Chef Maribel, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, I would go to my website. If people still would like to see how to do a gravy, there's a little form and they have access to a 20-minute step-by-step how to do your gravy ahead of time. And then you'll be in my my email list, or sign up for my email list on my website as well. It's COCINAMARIB as in boy, EL.com. That's Cocina Maribel.
Fabulous, fabulous. And so we did, just to kind of recap, we did a week of kind of your
appetizers. Yeah.
Appetizers.
First we did homemade gravy.
Oh, that's
yes,
right.
we did.
And then we did appetizers.
Yes.
Last week we did side dishes.
Yes.
I mean, she literally gave us all the side dishes in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think we're gonna be able to do all this. And I was like, oh, well, maybe we will. And then today we're finishing it off with desserts.
Yes. And so I'm gonna put this in the oven because it won't take that long. I have it pretty high at 425, which when you're gonna par bake it, and I'm not because it's a tart, I'm not gonna worry about putting in the pie weights or the beans to weight it down. I'm just going to do that really quick and time it for 10 minutes. And that's just to par cook it. And then you have to do the filling and do it all over again. So really quick, if we can spotlight overhead this time, I think I'm ready.
She's like, I think I'm ready. There we are.
Okay, so the first pie I told you was the pecan crust, and it is a apple, cranberry, and a crumble on top. So it's kind of like a crumble and a pie together. And the filling, if people, okay, in Texas we don't have cranberries, so they don't grow around these parts. But on the east side, that's a really big thing. So if you want to use fresh cranberries instead of the jelly, this is the idea, and I get it frozen, so you can find it frozen. And I'm going to use a red apple decored and peeled, and then I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut it into chunks, and I'm going to cut the cranberries as well. And this will kind of bleed a little bit, but that's okay. And so with that, I'm going to add sugar. And then the other ingredient that I think is really interesting, so actually it's a 1/4 cup. So it's quite a bit of sugar. And with this mix, this is a little extra, but this will have to sit kind of like sugar does or salt does to cabbage. This will help break down the sugars, and it will start to like release the sugars from the apple and also the cranberry. So you let that sit for 20 minutes. Basically, this is why this pie is like amazing. But once you have that sitting, then you're going to add another ingredient to kind of create that like that gooey center. And this recipe is, again, from All Recipes. And I add tapioca flour. So this is good. I mean, you can make a gluten-free crust, and also you can use the filling with tapioca flour. But this just creates like a very gooey, gummy filling, which bakes really.
Filling.
Totally. That's what I was like when I was making this and putting this all together. I was really excited how this was like kind of developing. And so this will it'll break down and it'll start getting kind of gooey. And you can tell from the tapioca that it'll start breaking down with the sugar and the fruit. And so this will go into my pie that we are par baking right now, and then you bake it again. And so that's the whole thing about pie. There's a lot of steps. There's like a few too many sometimes. But let's go back to the idea. While that sits, let's go back to the idea of doing our pie crust from scratch. So a lot of people do it in the food processor, but I highly recommend doing it by hand as well. So I have half a recipe here, and this is 4 ounces of butter cut up, and I put my bowl and my butter in the refrigerator so it'd be nice and cold. And I'm going to do half a cup of flour, and my salt is going to be half my recipe, which is 1/8 of a teaspoon there. And then I'm going to do 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Normally I put 3 teaspoons or tablespoons. So that's basically it. And then chilled water. So we're going to break this up with our pastry cutter, and we're going to cut that up. And the idea is to not touch the flour with your warm hands. I have a warm hands, and it is warm in here because the oven is on. So I try not to touch it, but there is a part where you can, you want to get your butter to a walnut size. Some people say pea size. And that's another thing about pies that makes it so confusing. There's so many experts out there. And like I said, I'm not an expert, but I definitely I follow those who are professionals in the industry instead of random people. And
like this, you really got to make sure that you are like, because I know sometimes when you're in a higher elevation, things have to change completely, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if you're in Denver, I am from La Paz, Bolivia, which is the highest city in the world in South America. It's the highest city in the world at starting at 13,000 feet. That's how high the city is.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. So this is looking really good. And that's pretty much how it should look before I add the water. Some people add cream, actually, I've seen in recipes. So that, that's where it gets kind of like, you have to have a very, okay, let's just do this for fun. Let's not put a lot of pressure on us. Let's experiment. Let's spend an afternoon, let's do this activity kind of thing. That's the attitude I think you should have when making these new desserts. So usually I put 3 tablespoons, but I'm going to put 3 teaspoons, which makes a tablespoon.
And you really have to make sure that you passed algebra when you're cooking. Because you'll be like, what is 3 tablespoons equals to a teaspoon?
For me, it's fractions. Like,
yes.
1/8, 1/16, all that.
What is 2? Okay. Yep. You're like, man, I should
have
more in math.
Yeah. Fractions always mess me up for me. So I'm going to add, and this is where it gets tricky. It's like, how much water do you put? Well, the recipes are so nebulous when it comes to that. So again, that adds another level of like doubt of what you're doing. And that's the thing about cooking and baking. Like, you have to be fearless a little bit, you can't just you can't weigh into your doubts. You have to just like go for it. I think that's what makes cooking and baking, like, you just have to go for it. You don't have to doubt yourself. So I'm gonna add a little bit of more water because it's not coming together. Ooh, shit. Sorry. 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 That's a lie. Sorry. That's way too much water. I should have. Sorry. That's like my restaurant talk. Sorry. So sorry. I'm so sorry.
But it's almost like your grandmother. Like, how do you make your secret sauce? Oh, I don't know. I just put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and this, and that. I don't measure nothing.
Oh, well, when you're baking, and especially since I have like a half recipe, then even that is like, it makes it that much more complicated,
Yeah.
So whoever's watching this is like, oh no, she's gonna overwork the dough. So here's my dough, and I would then put this in a what's it called? A
bowl?
No, well, I would put it in kind of plastic or film, and I would put it in the refrigerator. I like to, saran wrap, or wax paper is what I was thinking of. I like to flatten mine so that when I roll it out after sitting overnight, it's easy to roll out. So once you have your dough together, then you can roll it out. And some people, especially for pies, they do the laminating, which is you fold it over itself to create layers and flakes.
I've seen that.
So so that is one strategy for getting flakiness, because that's what I do with my biscuits, and that always worked. When I learned that, that was a game changer for my biscuits. So I would think that would work as well for pie. So we can go back to the top level as I clear my space here.
I got you.
All right.
I don't know about you, Angel, but I am so ready to eat dessert now.
I want pie.
Are you gonna have your
no, you want that. What did you call it last week?
Oh, the pie caking.
Pie caking. It had like 5 different pies and cakes all together.
Yeah, all wrapped up in a cinnamon buttercream frosting. Right? It was like,
oh wow,
like all wrapped up in a cinnamon buttercream frosting.
Yeah, a layer of pecan pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie, like with spice cake in between, and then all wrapped up in, yeah, a cinnamon buttercream frosting. You've heard of the turducken, right? A duck inside of a chicken.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pie cakein. It's the turducken version of your pie. Okay, so Mirabelle, I know we're making desserts, but I have a time to thaw out my question.
Oh, let's talk about it. Yes, I
It
just took out my tart, and so I'm gonna wait for it a little bit before I add my filling. But here's my filling. I don't know if you can see. It's like it's kind of gooey.
Yeah.
This will be great filling, and then you put a crumble on top, and you saw the finished product. But go, tell me, turkey. Let's talk turkey.
Okay, so the turkey's frozen in the freezer right now. When do
okay
to thaw it?
So, are you going to brine it?
She's like,
I don't think so. Because I don't know what that means.
Okay, well, it's going to take about 3 days to defrost anyways in the refrigerator. So go ahead it's in the refrigerator right now, right?
No.
It's in the
okay, so you want.
It's still in the freezer. We can't put it in the freezer like the other day.
Okay, so I would put it in the refrigerator because it's going to take about 3 days to defrost, and that's plenty of time. If you decide to do a brine, I highly recommend a buttermilk brine. It's super easy. You don't. The thing about brines, and I was never a fan, but this year I did try.
Can you tell people what brining means for those who don't know what that means?
Sure, it's like a salt solution usually with water, salt, and spices, and people put vinegar in there. And so I don't like the vinegar. I think it really changes the texture, and especially it's very difficult. It has to be weighed. Like you have to weigh your solution with the turkey, and no one is going to do that. So it's always a guessing game. And you can put too much of the vinegar, or you over oversalt it. It's so much of a.
What do you put it in? Like in a bucket? Like.
Well, so they have like turkey bags, like a big bag, and then you have to put that like in your roasting pan in the refrigerator.
So you roasting bag.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a big. Yeah,
so
it's
I have
a big
to
bag.
defrost it first, though, right? It has to be defrosted, and then we brine it.
Yes, and so I highly recommend doing a buttermilk brine because it has many things going for it. It has acid from the milk and the buttermilk. It has sugar from the milk, which is great to create a nice color on your turkey. And you add salt, and it'll soften everything. So the acid from the buttermilk will add a great flavor to your turkey. The texture is the way turkey should be. Sometimes brining, again, it could be too much vinegar and it'll make the meat stringy.
You just put this mixture all over your turkey?
Yes, yes. And in the bag, in the liquid. I happen to have a container that had all sides, so it fit perfectly in my refrigerator, but most people won't have that. So a turkey bag, they sell them at the grocery store, at your local grocery store. I know they're going to be there, and you put in that bag, and then for 2 days, I basically, if the turkey didn't cover everything and it wasn't completely submerged, I just rotated it one day, and the next day, the breast, the backside, and then the last day, Wednesday, before I take it out and I completely wipe down all the buttermilk, because by then it's nicely immersed in the skin and the flesh of the turkey. And that's when I season it with salt and pepper. I put a herb butter mix underneath the skin of the turkey, and if you can separate the fascia, basically the skin from the breast, and you can really put herbs and butter in there. Like I put my whole hand in there.
That's what I usually do. I stick it all in.
It goes all, yeah, it goes. If you think about it, it goes. It goes all the way down there. So
Don't you wish you could do that to yourself? Like, I just want to get in there and like move some of this out of the way.
Lift and tuck a couple of things.
So I do that Wednesday, and I let it go naked, air chill in the refrigerator. Naked. Yeah, naked. And and then I fill the cavity with lemons cut up and a whole bunch of herbs, sage, rosemary, thyme, parsley, all the things, and I put that in the refrigerator.
On the stem itself, right? And you just kind of stick it in there.
Whole everything.
Yeah.
Right. And then I let that on a sheet tray in the oven, in the refrigerator, and then Thursday morning goes in the oven.
And then at 8:00, Angel and I wake up going, the turkey.
And then so that's the process, and that's why there is a lot of planning. That's why I've been talking about Thanksgiving for a month now, to let people know, okay, let's make sure, again, it's COVID times, hopefully people have their turkey and they're not out of a turkey. But even if you take out the turkey or you buy it last minute, like Tuesday, last but not least, you can put the packaged turkey in your sink with running water, and that'll take like a few hours to de-thaw the turkey.
And a few $100 of water.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the safest last case scenario situation. Don't leave your turkey out on the counter. That's what increases bacteria. And if you think about it, raw protein on the counter it's not a good thing. So
not in your fridge or under cool running water.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the package. Yeah.
In the package.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Maribel, what last minute things do we need to know about the tarts and the desserts today?
Oh, that's it. So I like I said, I did my tart, and I'm going to fill this with the filling and then bake it again. And my little tart will come out of its shell, will be perfect bite size. Yeah.
Okay, so how long do you bake your tarts for, Maribel?
Depending on the size, right? So this large one and the filling. So this large one, which I will share on the comments of this video where to find this recipe exactly for this 9-inch. It could be a pie. I used a 9-inch pie. This did cook a long time because of the filling was pretty, substantial, for 45 minutes in a 350 oven. And
I
this
bet
little
amazing.
Yeah. So the
apples and just like,
yeah. So and for like a pie tart that size, or a 9-inch pie, 35 minutes with the filling, just enough to the filling to set. And it'll obviously be half that amount for these little tarts. Another advantage of doing little tarts because it's half the time, and then you have a finished product.
Gonna have 100 of the little tiny ones.
Yeah, and these are like cookies, these are great.
I mean, like, she can go by and go.
Exactly. I wish I could offer that to you. So that's it. And again, go to my website. Please sign up for my newsletter. If not, Instagram is my jam. You can see me there. I'm doing all the reels and all that stuff of day to day. I have like my recent reel is like all my recipes, and like to the master grocery list, which minimizes your trips to the grocery store. And I highly recommend people buying their groceries as much as they can, like today, actually, so that you're not going through the weekend and it's gonna, there's gonna be a mad rush.
It really is. Like this is the time of year where I usually would drive up to North Carolina to visit my family. And like, tomorrow we would get up and go to Walmart and there would be hundreds of people in there. And like, we couldn't find this, they were out of this. And I'm like, why did we wait?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, today,
So
the last day, you want to go and get all of your stuff today. And you've already hopefully pulled out all of your dishes and your decor for the holidays. And so let's get the
And
table.
your table is already beautifully set.
Yes.
And you already have your turkey pulled out, Angel.
I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna go do it right now.
She's like, Jay, pull the turkey out.
I know. I kind of want to pull the turkey out, put it in the fridge.
Pull that turkey out and then do your pies. You'll have some for breakfast and have a little extra.
Angel. So, you're off on Tuesday and Wednesday. You and the girls can make all your little pie tarts. And you can have all the pie tarts that you want. Wednesday night, you'll be like, oh, I'm so stuffed.
Actually, I think I might do that over the weekend. I want to sleep in. I want to relax. I'm going to make pies this weekend, I think.
Yeah. Well, make sure you send some.
I'll send you a recipe.
I love it. Thanks, Maribel.
Yes.
This has been so much fun.
Can make pies all weekend.
I think that's what I want to do. Well, happy Friday to everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Hopefully you enjoyed our Thanksgiving cooking in the kitchen features with Chef Maribel. Follow her at her website. Sign up for all her good stuff. Ask her for your favorite, stump the chef questions. She's just just super brilliant.
Thank you.
We are going to have her back to start talking about your holiday dinners in December. And at some point we will do probably not on the morning show, but maybe another feature where we walk through her kitchen and do a tour of her kitchen and maybe a little shopping guide or I don't know, something. Maybe get organized your kitchen for the new year or some kind of fun segment like that. But yeah, this is fun. Make sure you've got December 30th on your calendar as a special edition of the Angel and Tina Morning Show, the ANT Awards. We will be highlighting your favorite guests here on the show. We'll be celebrating Tina's birthday, and we will be celebrating Tina's brand new book that will be launching on December 30th, and it will be our last episode of 2020. If you are still looking for more media exposure, now more than ever, there are so many opportunities for you to get booked on radio, television, magazines, podcasts, stages, and you can get started by grabbing your complimentary media starter kit at makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. Let's go and make your big impact together. Thanks so much for hanging out with us this morning, Tina.
We're having such a good time with this cooking show. I absolutely adore Maribel. So thank you so much, Maribel, for joining us this month. We hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving next week, but we will be here live on Monday and Tuesday. So don't forget, and we'll be here live at 11 a.m. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to take the couple of days off and spend time with our family. I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the gratitude specialist. And if you're struggling with attracting the right clients, knowing how to connect to them, or even if you just don't know how to convert them into clients, I have a complimentary guide that will help you grow your audience organically online and offline, connect and nurture those clients, and take those relationships and turn them into paying clients. And you can grab your free guide if you text the word connection to 26786. That is the word connection to 26786. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys Monday. Have a fabulous weekend. Don't forget to take out your turkey.
Yeah.